Nostradamus, a 16th century French astrologer, has fascinated people for centuries with his powerful predictions. Known for his ability to foresee events long before they happened, his name remains synonymous with prophecy. Nostradamus's methods were rooted in astrology, using the stars and planetary movements to interpret historical cycles. His work was groundbreaking for his time, drawing attention worldwide for its accuracy. Even after hundreds of years, his predictions continue to capture our imagination. People often turn to his writings, searching for clues about the future. What made Nostradamus so special was his unique way of linking the patterns of the past with what could unfold in the future. His ability to predict wars, natural disasters, and other major events has led many to believe his insights go beyond simple guesswork. Nostradamus didn't just rely on chance or superstition. His approach was grounded in careful study, using the positions of planets and stars to understand the hidden forces that shape history. With a gift for seeing connections where others couldn't, he left behind a legacy that still influences predictions today. Could his wisdom hold the key to understanding what the future might bring, especially when it comes to wealth and fortune? Stay tuned as we uncover how Nostradamus' predictions could be shaping your luck in the days to come. Could the stars align for you? Pope Francis, now 87 years old, has been at the helm of the Catholic Church for over a decade. His leadership has seen significant changes in the Church, but with his advancing age and current health challenges, questions about the future of the papacy are becoming more pressing. As Pope Francis faces these health struggles, many are starting to wonder what the future holds for the Catholic Church. One of Nostradamus's prophecies seems particularly relevant today. He mentioned a Roman of good age, which many believe refers to the Pope. This phrase is thought to describe a leader who will be of advanced years and who will play a key role in the direction the Church takes. The timing of this prophecy raises questions about how much longer Pope Francis can continue in his position. In recent years, Pope Francis has faced various health issues, including knee problems and other age-related challenges. These have slowed him down, though he has remained active in his role. His age and health have sparked discussions about whether he will choose to retire, as previous popes have, or if he will continue his papacy despite his physical limitations. Nostradamus's mention of a Roman of good age could be interpreted as a sign that the Catholic Church will experience a period of transition, possibly with the current pope passing the mantle to someone younger. This could mark a turning point for the Church, as a new leader would bring fresh perspectives and perhaps even new directions for the institution. The Church is already going through significant changes. Pope Francis has made it a priority to modernize certain aspects of Church practices and open dialogue with other faiths. However, his health struggles might speed up the process of transition. If Pope Francis were to step down, the next pope could be someone who is able to continue his work of reform, or possibly even introduce new changes that will reshape the Catholic Church for generations to come. This prophecy has led many to speculate about the future of the papacy. Some believe that the current pope's health challenges are a sign that the Church is preparing for a new era. If a new pope takes over, the Church may have to address issues such as its relationship with modern society, how to engage younger generations, and how to maintain its relevance in a rapidly changing world. Nostradamus's predictions often center around major events that influence the course of history, and the Catholic Church is certainly one of the world's most influential institutions. The idea that the Church is on the brink of another major change, perhaps in the form of a new pope, is a powerful thought. The world will be watching closely to see how the Church adapts to the challenges of the future and how it continues to evolve in the face of an unpredictable world. The question remains, What does this mean for the future of the Catholic Church? How will the leadership transition unfold, and how will the Church adapt to a changing world? Only time will tell, but the signs are there, and the prophecy about the Roman of good age continues to spark curiosity and debate. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, has captured the attention of governments, businesses, and individuals around the world. In recent years, we've seen AI technology advance at a rapid pace, transforming industries and everyday life. From self-driving cars to advanced robotics, AI is no longer a distant concept, but a reality shaping the future. Nostradamus' prophecies have often been linked to major technological shifts, and some interpretations of his writings suggest that he predicted an uprising of artificial intelligence. While it's unclear whether Nostradamus foresaw AI specifically, his visions of technological change and the rise of new powers in the world seem to align with the current situation. AI is becoming a driving force in global innovation, and the question on everyone's mind is how these advancements will impact the world. Could AI become so powerful that it disrupts entire industries, changes the way we live, and challenges the balance of power between nations? One of the most significant impacts AI could have is on global infrastructure. As more aspects of daily life become automated, industries such as transportation, healthcare, and manufacturing will undergo radical transformations. Smart cities, powered by AI, may become more efficient, but they could also lead to job displacement and raise concerns about privacy. AI's influence could stretch far beyond individual industries, affecting entire economies and reshaping how countries interact with each other. In addition to these changes, the competition between world powers to lead the AI revolution is intensifying. Countries like the United States, China, and Russia are all racing to develop and harness the full potential of AI technology. Each country is pouring significant resources into AI research and development, with the goal of gaining a technological edge that could have far-reaching geopolitical consequences. This competition could lead to a new kind of arms race, not with physical weapons, but with the tools and technologies that power AI. As these nations battle for supremacy in AI development, questions about ethics, control, and security will come to the forefront. Who will be responsible for the AI systems that govern our lives? What happens if AI becomes too advanced to control? These are questions that governments and organizations are already grappling with. The potential for AI to evolve beyond human control, as some fear, could lead to a future where AI dictates much of what happens in the world. The AI revolution is no longer just a prediction, but a rapidly unfolding reality. Whether or not Nostradamus saw this coming, the future of AI holds both promise and risk. As we move further into this new age of technology, the way we manage and develop AI will shape the future of humanity. Will we harness its power for good, or will it become a force that disrupts the world as we know it? The answer to that question will depend on how we navigate the challenges of AI in the years to come. The political landscape of the United States has been marked by division and uncertainty in recent years, and many are wondering what the future holds for the nation. One of the most talked about figures in recent American history is former President Donald Trump. There are growing speculations and predictions surrounding his potential return to power. While some see his comeback as inevitable, others worry about the consequences of such a shift. In the midst of these discussions, parallels can be drawn between Trump's potential return and biblical references, particularly from the Book of Revelation. In Revelation, there are descriptions of figures who rise to power during times of chaos and upheaval, often seen as controversial and polarizing. Some interpret these passages as reflecting modern political figures who take center stage when societies are in turmoil. The idea of a leader returning to power in the midst of political chaos seems to echo some of the sentiments surrounding Donald Trump's possible return to office. For many, his return symbolizes a dramatic shift, either toward a restoration of traditional values or a continued clash between opposing political forces. The impact of Trump's potential return would not be limited to the United States alone. As one of the most influential political figures of the 21st century, his decisions have reverberated through global politics. Countries around the world would closely monitor his actions, especially in regard to foreign policy and trade. Trump's previous presidency saw tensions with several nations, particularly with China and Europe. A return to power could reignite these challenges and shift the direction of international relations, especially in terms of trade, agreements, military presence, and diplomatic negotiations. Economically, Trump's return could have both positive and negative consequences for the United States. Under his first term, the country saw tax cuts, deregulation, and a focus on boosting American manufacturing and job growth. Many believe his return could reignite economic growth, particularly in industries he championed, such as energy and manufacturing. On the other hand, his policies were also marked by trade wars and a growing national debt, which could lead to challenges in maintaining long-term economic stability. The question of leadership in America is more pressing than ever, and a potential second term for Trump would likely deepen the political divide. His leadership style, which often led to sharp conflicts with political opponents, could intensify polarization within the country. While some would view his return as a much-needed change, others would see it as a dangerous step backward. The implications of such a shift extend beyond just politics and touch on the fabric of American society itself, potentially reshaping the nation's identity and global standing in the years to come. In a time of uncertainty and change, the idea of political upheaval in leadership is one that continues to resonate. Whether Donald Trump returns to power or not, the future of American politics, society, and the economy will depend on the choices made in the coming years. Just as biblical prophecies reflect times of trial and transformation, the political landscape of the United States faces its own period of significant change. How the nation responds will shape the course of its future. China's rising influence on the global stage has been one of the most significant developments in recent decades. From its rapid economic growth to its expanding military presence, China is positioning itself as a major world power. This shift in global power dynamics is prompting both allies and rivals to reassess their strategies, as the United States and other nations look closely at China's actions. Some interpret this growing influence through the lens of prophecies, such as the idea of the red adversary, which many believe refers to China due to its red flag and communist roots. The prophecy about the red adversary speaks of a rising power that could challenge the established global order. In many interpretations, this adversary is seen as a force to be reckoned with, potentially leading to conflict as it asserts its dominance. China's increasing presence in global affairs, particularly in trade, technology, and military capabilities, makes it a strong contender for this title. With China's Belt and Road Initiative, it has been investing heavily in infrastructure projects around the world, expanding its influence in Asia, Africa, and even Europe. This growing power is creating a new geopolitical landscape where China's actions cannot be ignored. One of the most pressing areas of concern is China's naval ambitions. Over the past several years, China has been rapidly expanding its navy and asserting control over the South China Sea, a region rich in resources and vital for global trade routes. The construction of artificial islands and military installations in disputed waters has led to rising tensions with neighboring countries such as Vietnam and the Philippines, as well as with the United States. These actions have raised fears of military confrontations and have made the region a focal point of global security concerns. The rising tensions in the South China Sea and China's military buildup have also led to concerns about the involvement of NATO. Traditionally focused on European security, NATO is now being drawn into discussions about China's growing influence and its military activities. As NATO considers the implications of China's rise, there are questions about how it will respond to potential conflicts in the Asia-Pacific region. The organization has already begun to strengthen its presence in the Indo-Pacific, with some member states increasing their naval deployments and collaborating on defense initiatives in the region. The idea of NATO's involvement in the growing tensions surrounding China is a complex issue. While NATO's primary mission is to defend its members from threats in the Euro-Atlantic area, the shifting global power dynamics may push it to take a more active role in countering China's growing influence. With China expanding its military capabilities and asserting itself on the global stage, NATO may find itself playing a larger part in maintaining stability in the region. As the world watches China's rise and the tensions surrounding its growing influence, the prophecy of the red adversary continues to resonate. Whether it leads to direct conflict or a new kind of global balance, the future of China's power will play a major role in shaping the world's political and military strategies. How the world, including NATO, responds to this challenge will determine the course of global power dynamics in the years to come. The idea of exploring space, particularly Mars, has fascinated humanity for centuries. As we look to the stars, we find ourselves on the brink of one of the most significant eras in space exploration. Predictions about space, such as Nostradamus' reference to celestial fire, seem to align with our current ambitions. Some believe this phrase could refer to the exploration of outer space, specifically Mars, where the fiery landscapes and the quest for discovery mirror the prophecies. This connection to celestial fire raises intriguing questions about our journey to the red planet and what it could mean for humanity's future. In recent years, the exploration of Mars has moved from science fiction to reality. Organizations like NASA and private companies like SpaceX are pushing the boundaries of what we can achieve in space. SpaceX, under the leadership of Elon Musk, has set its sights on Mars as a potential new frontier for humanity. Musk's vision of establishing a human settlement on Mars is ambitious, but his track record of revolutionizing space travel with reusable rockets shows that such a dream may be closer to reality than we think. SpaceX's Starship, designed for deep space travel, could one day carry humans to Mars with the goal of building a self-sustaining colony on the planet. This aligns with the idea of celestial fire, as Mars presents both a challenge and an opportunity for human expansion. The fiery surface of Mars, with its harsh conditions and potential for discovery, symbolizes the boldness and ambition of humanity's desire to reach beyond Earth and establish a presence on another planet. Biblical perspectives on space exploration offer interesting insights as well. While the Bible does not directly mention Mars or space travel, there are verses that speak to the vastness of creation and humanity's role in the universe. In Psalm 19, verse 1, it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands." This reflects the idea that space exploration is not only about scientific discovery, but also about understanding the greater creation and God's work in the universe. The Bible also speaks of human curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge, which can be seen as an extension of our desire to explore space and uncover its mysteries. Space exploration and the journey to Mars represent both a technological leap and a spiritual reflection of human ambition. Just as Nostradamus predicted a celestial fire, our modern endeavors to reach Mars seem to be a fulfillment of that vision. As companies like SpaceX continue to advance in space technology, humanity is moving closer to making Mars a second home. This pursuit not only pushes the limits of our scientific capabilities, but also invites us to reflect on our place in the universe and the divine purpose that may underlie our desire to reach for the stars. The world is witnessing an increasing frequency of extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, wildfires, and floods, which many attribute to climate change. Nostradamus made several predictions about natural disasters, including extreme weather and catastrophic events. Some of his prophecies are thought to hint at times of great upheaval and the destruction of entire civilizations, potentially connecting to the climate crisis we are experiencing today. The impact of rising global temperatures, shifting weather patterns, and natural disasters raises questions about our future and the stability of the Earth. Climate change has made extreme weather events more common, with rising sea levels and more intense storms threatening many regions of the world. Experts warn that if current trends continue, these events will only become more severe, potentially causing widespread damage and loss of life. Nostradamus's predictions about the end of times often involve chaotic and destructive forces of nature, and it is easy to draw a parallel between his writings and today's climate crisis. As these extreme weather events become more frequent and more powerful, many wonder if we are living through the beginning stages of a larger global catastrophe. In addition to extreme weather, there are concerns about the possibility of an asteroid collision with Earth. Scientists have long warned about the potential for an asteroid to strike our planet, and while the chances of such an event are low, the consequences would be catastrophic. The predictions about natural disasters, including those of Nostradamus, sometimes include references to celestial bodies and their influence on Earth. In his writings, he mentioned fire from the sky, which some interpret as a possible asteroid impact, a disaster that could lead to the destruction of cities and cause global climate disruptions. The potential for global food shortages and famine is another pressing concern. As natural disasters become more frequent and intense, agricultural production is increasingly affected. Floods, droughts, and wildfires can destroy crops and disrupt food distribution, leading to widespread shortages. The United Nations has warned that climate change could significantly impact global food security, leading to famine in some regions. Nostradamus's predictions about scarcity and famine often reflect times of great suffering, where civilizations face extreme challenges in terms of survival and resource management. The possibility of widespread hunger in the future is a very real concern, given the rising instability of the global climate. Biblically, natural disasters have often been seen as signs of divine wrath or warnings of a coming judgment. In the book of Revelation, the earth experiences a series of catastrophic events, such as earthquakes, storms, and famines, as part of the end of times. Similarly, in the Old Testament, disasters such as the Great Flood during Noah's time are interpreted as acts of divine intervention. The Bible often speaks of the earth groaning in response to human sin and disobedience, which some interpret as a metaphor for the climate crisis today. The warnings from these ancient texts suggest that the earth's suffering due to human actions could be a reflection of a spiritual imbalance. As we face the realities of climate change, extreme weather, and potential food crises, it is clear that natural disasters are a growing threat to our world. Whether seen through the lens of Nostradamus's prophecies or biblical teachings, the message is clear. Humanity, must take responsibility for the state of the earth and prepare for the challenges ahead. The question remains, will we take action to change the course of our future, or will we continue down a path that leads to greater suffering? The world is witnessing an increasing number of urban protests and social movements as citizens around the globe demand change. Nostradamus, in his writings, predicted a time of great unrest, where social tensions would boil over, leading to widespread protests and revolutions. These prophecies seem to align with the rising inequalities and frustrations many people are feeling today. Urban unrest, marked by demonstrations, strikes, and even violent clashes, is becoming a common sight in major cities. As marginalized groups push back against systems of power they see as unjust. Growing inequality is one of the driving forces behind these social tensions. As wealth becomes more concentrated in the hands of a few, many people are left struggling to make ends meet. The divide between the rich and the poor continues to grow, with access to education, health care, and job opportunities often limited by social class. Nostradamus's predictions about social upheaval seem to reflect this widening gap, where dissatisfaction with the ruling elites leads to a breakdown in social order. As more people feel excluded from the benefits of society, the desire for change intensifies, leading to protests and movements demanding equality and justice. Technology has played a significant role in modern social movements, giving a voice to those who were once unheard. Social media platforms, online petitions, and digital organizing tools have made it easier for individuals to mobilize and spread their message across the globe. In many ways, technology has empowered protesters, allowing them to coordinate protests, share their experiences, and demand action from governments and institutions. This new era of digital activism aligns with the predictions of Nostradamus, who spoke of the power of the people rising up against the powers that be. Technology has allowed social movements to transcend national borders, uniting people from different cultures and backgrounds under a common cause. Around the world, we are seeing a surge in global protest movements that span continents. From the Arab Spring to the Black Lives Matter movement, from climate strikes led by young activists to workers' protests against corporate greed, people are coming together to demand change. These movements often focus on issues like racial justice, climate change, workers' rights, and the redistribution of wealth. Each of these movements reflects deep dissatisfaction with current systems and a desire to create a more just and equitable world. Nostradamus predicted that such upheavals would shake the foundations of societies, and these global protests appear to be the fulfillment of that prophecy. The social revolution happening today is not just a localized phenomenon, but a global shift in how people view power, authority, and fairness. As urban unrest increases and social tensions rise, we may be witnessing the early stages of a larger transformation that will reshape the world. Nostradamus's predictions about revolutions and social change speak to the idea that times of great unrest often lead to periods of renewal and rebuilding. As technology continues to empower individuals and communities, the potential for global change grows. It is clear that the world is at a tipping point where social movements are challenging established systems, and the call for justice is louder than ever. The British monarchy is at a pivotal moment, with King Charles III now on the throne, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Nostradamus made several prophecies about royal families, and some believe his writings hint at major changes within monarchies, especially regarding leadership and succession. As King Charles III ages, questions about his health and the future of the monarchy have gained prominence. At 75 years old in 2025, concerns about his health naturally arise. with some speculating about how long he will remain on the throne and what this means for the royal family. Nostradamus's predictions sometimes touch on the theme of monarchy, including shifts in leadership and potential crises. Many believe that these prophecies, while often vague, reflect moments of uncertainty or transition within royal families. With King Charles III's health being a subject of public interest, speculation about the future of the British monarchy has intensified. Should King Charles III face significant health challenges, there are questions about whether he might step down in favor of his son, Prince William, who is first in line to the throne. This potential shift could bring about major changes not only within the royal family, but also for the country, as Prince William would bring his own leadership style and vision to the monarchy. Prince William has spent years preparing for the throne, and many view him as the natural successor to King Charles III. Over the years, he has become more visible in public life, taking on royal duties and advocating for causes close to his heart. His calm demeanor and focus on environmental and mental health issues resonate with many, and he is seen by many as ready to lead. Nostradamus's predictions of monarchs being replaced during times of crisis or change may apply to the British monarchy as well, with Prince William's readiness for leadership positioning him as the likely future king. Meanwhile, Prince Harry, who has stepped back from royal duties with his wife, Meghan Markle, continues to generate significant public interest. His decision to move to the United States and focus on charity work and his family life has led to speculation about his future role within the monarchy. While he remains in the public eye, many wonder what his next steps will be and whether he will eventually return to the royal fold or continue to distance himself from royal life. Nostradamus's writings sometimes include references to individuals who may hold a more distant or unusual role in the monarchy during times of transition, and Prince Harry's situation certainly fits this idea of unconventional paths. As King Charles III's reign progresses and the royal family faces challenges related to health, leadership, and public perception, the future of the monarchy remains uncertain. Whether Prince William ascends the throne sooner than expected, or Prince Harry finds a new role, the world will be watching closely. Nostradamus's prophecies about royal families and shifts in power may offer a lens through which to view these unfolding events, even if they are open to interpretation. The British monarchy's future, shaped by these individuals, promises to be a significant chapter in royal history. The possibility of a new world war has been a topic of concern for many, especially as global tensions continue to rise. Nostradamus, known for his cryptic predictions, has made several references to large-scale conflicts, which some interpret as signs of an impending global war. His writings suggest that such a war could occur during a time of great political instability and shifting global power dynamics. Many believe that we are approaching such a moment, as countries around the world face increasing tensions, economic challenges, and military buildups. The timing of a potential new world war is uncertain, but the warning signs are becoming more visible as nations prepare for possible conflict. Biblically, the concept of a final battle is described in the book of Revelation, which speaks of wars and conflicts leading to the ultimate confrontation between good and evil. These end-time prophecies suggest that a series of global conflicts will lead to a climactic battle, signaling the end of the current age and the establishment of a new world order. This final battle is often interpreted as a moment of divine judgment and the fulfillment of God's plan for the world. Some see the current geopolitical situation as a prelude to these events, with the Bible's predictions of wars, rumors of wars, and the rise of nations against each other fitting into the narrative of an approaching final conflict. Today, the world is experiencing growing tensions in between major powers, including economic and military rivalries. The ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, rising tensions in the South China Sea, and the competition for global influence between the United States, China, and Russia are just a few examples of the political struggles that could lead to a larger war. Many nations are rapidly increasing their military capabilities, while alliances like NATO and regional pacts continue to evolve. These developments are fueling concerns that the world is on the brink of a broader conflict, which some interpret as a fulfillment of Nostradamus's and biblical prophecies about wars leading to a final global battle. In the final battle prophecies, both Nostradamus and biblical texts describe a time of unprecedented destruction and upheaval, where nations are divided and chaos reigns. This battle is often viewed as a moment of reckoning for humanity, where the forces of good and evil face off in an ultimate struggle. According to these prophecies, the outcome of this conflict will determine the fate of the world and lead to a period of peace or judgment, depending on one's interpretation. Some believe that the current rise in global tensions is a sign that this final battle is drawing nearer, and that humanity must prepare spiritually for the consequences of this global conflict. As the world's superpowers continue to build military might and engage in diplomatic standoffs, the question remains: are we heading towards the final battle foretold by Nostradamus and biblical prophecies? The rising global tensions, economic instability, and political unrest suggest that the time may be approaching when the world will face its greatest challenge. Whether we are witnessing the early stages of such a conflict or simply experiencing a period of heightened tensions is yet to be seen. What is clear is that both modern prophecy and ancient texts continue to capture the world's attention, offering warnings and predictions about the future of global peace and conflict. As we reflect on the intersection of prophecy and current events, it becomes clear that the predictions made by figures like Nostradamus and biblical prophets continue to resonate in our modern world. While their messages are often cryptic and open to interpretation, they offer a framework for understanding the challenges and uncertainties humanity faces today. These prophecies remind us that the course of history is influenced by a combination of fate, human choices, and external forces. The patterns of global conflict, political shifts, and societal unrest we see today may echo the prophecies of the past, but it is important to remember that the future is not set in stone. Human agency plays a critical role in shaping the future. While prophecies may offer warnings, they do not dictate inevitability. We have the power to make choices, whether individually or collectively, that can alter the course of events. The decisions we make today on matters of peace, justice, and cooperation will determine whether we head toward a world defined by conflict or one focused on resolution and healing. By reflecting on the lessons of the past and the wisdom contained in prophecy, we can be inspired to take action, making mindful choices that align with our shared values and hopes for a better future. In these times of uncertainty, there is a delicate balance between preparedness and hope. While it is wise to consider the warnings of prophecy and be prepared for the challenges that may lie ahead, it is equally important to maintain hope and faith in the possibility of positive change. Our collective efforts to foster peace, justice, and understanding can pave the way for a brighter future, even in the face of adversity. As we consider these predictions and their relevance to our world, it is essential to approach them thoughtfully. While some may see them as inevitable, others may view them as opportunities to reflect on how we can shape the future with wisdom, compassion, and a sense of responsibility. Ultimately, It is our actions and choices that will define the world we leave behind. And it is in this agency that we find both the challenge and the hope for a better tomorrow.